Here we go, back again with another match day preview, and also we're going to chat about the supporters collective meeting. Yes, the minutes were released. Christian Speakman was answering questions. But Sunderland do go down to Cardiff City Stadium. Yes, of course, to play Cardiff on Saturday. 33,000 fans can fill up the Cardiff City Stadium. It's a good stadium, Opened up in 2009. Cardiff City in very good form. Sunderland have lost 6 on the trot. They drew the last one, haven't won a game in 8. So, very tough game again. A really big ask. This in-form Cardiff City team have only lost 1 in the last 5 games, winning 4 out of the last 5 games, only losing to the derby, the Welsh derby. You know, the capital of Wales is Cardiff, and of course they lost to the other big city in Wales, Swansea. Yes, so the Bluebirds, founded a very long time ago. But Errol Bullet. We'll call him Bullet. Errol Bullet is the head coach, the German head coach. Played a lot of games for Fenerbahce in Turkey. That was the main place he played his football. But he's been there for 42 games in charge, and he's won 17, drawn 6 and lost 19. Started off pretty poor, but has come with a good run of form, like I say. They beat Stoke 2-1 at home. They beat Bristol City 1-0 away. They did beat Huddersfield 1-0 at home, and they beat Ipswich. That was a great result at home. They were getting beat 1-0 with seconds to go in stoppage time, and they scored 2 goals with about 5 minutes of stoppage time. So it was a brilliant result to turn over. Very good in form, Ipswich Town. But they did lose to Swansea 2-0, so they lost 1 out of the last 5, and they are in 11th place, 1 position above Sunderland, but 4 points, 5 points ahead of Sunderland. You know, they've won 16, we've only won 14, they've lost 17, we've lost 18. And if you look, you know, we've won 48 points, they've won 53 points. Let's look at Huddersfield, 3rd of bottom. Huddersfield, 3rd of bottom, have only lost 15 games. Sunderland have lost 18, so for me it's been a real poor season. And again, going to Cardiff on Friday, Good Friday, not Saturday. So it's coming quick and fast, and Good Friday, Easter Monday. So yes, this Good Friday afternoon game, I will be doing a live stream. On Good Friday. I think it's 3 o'clock. Yes, 3 o'clock. I'm sure there'll be a lot of Cardiff fans there on Friday, filling up the stadium. A lot of Sunderland fans going down there too, so it's going to be a hard game. Sunderland, like I said, are in a poor run of form. We've got a lot of injuries. I don't know if anybody's are coming back before this game. We'll know with the when we have the interview from Mike Dodds, the pre-match interview from Mike Dodds. He let us know what the injury situations are. But team news, what team would you start against Cardiff? Who will he start on Friday? With there being no Rushin injured? Would he start Hamir? Would it be Burstow? Would he put Styles somewhere in the frame? Would he have Barr starting on the left, Mundle on the right, or Mundle on the left? Barr, maybe he's just behind the striker. Would he put Job up top? Would he start Hamir again? There's all sorts of different permutations you can do, but it's not really, you know, a good team. Let's face it, we're missing so many players. Roberts, Clark, even like say Rushin now. So we never really had a striker all season. We've never had a striker all season, to be fair. We've been lacking in that department. That's been a failing at the club. But Christian Speakman was asked a question on this, and we'll chat about that very soon. So let me know your score predictions. Let me know what team you would start. I'm just like, we're getting the back line and the midfield sorted out. So we're going to have maybe Mundle on the left, Barr on the right, or maybe Mundle on the left, Styles on the right. Then you could have maybe Barr behind Job, put Job up top. Or would you just start him here? Just like I say, it's a minefield where we're going to get goals from. But it is what it is. I'm going to go for a score prediction of a 1-0 sneaky win for Sunderland. Stop the rot. Get back in the winning wheels. I know what you're thinking. It's going to be I mean, let's face it, we could go for games and games without winning the game of football, the way the form we're playing at the moment, the way it's going. We can't score goals for toffee. We couldn't score on a Bruffle, could there? Some of the Sunderland players at this moment in time, you know, but it's a bit harsh. But It is what it is. We're not scoring goals. We apart from the last game, kept a clean sheet, but a 0-0 draw against QPR stops the rot. So let me know your score prediction down below. And, you can be in a chance to win one of these shirts. We'll do another small table next 3 games. We'll do an Easter Bonanza. Easter Bonanza in the following game. Three game table. You can win one of those shirts. If Graham Byrne doesn't want one of those shirts, and you come on and win it, you've got a chance to win it. All you need to do is leave a score prediction down below and a goal scorer. Right, quick preview that was. Get that over and done with, because I want to chat about the minutes and what the meeting had to offer last night. I might actually get this right this time. Take 16. Wear my glasses because I can't see a damn thing. Might help. Anyway, supporters collective meeting. This is what I want to talk about. I wanted to do a quick match preview so you can leave your score predictions on there. But I wanted to chat about this supporters collective meeting. James Harriott. Now in the red corner, Sunderland AFC, they had David Bruce, Steve Davison, Christian Speakman, Oscar Chamberlain and Christopher Waters. Then the branch liaison council, we had Jim Gillen. Glasses are not really that good, are they? Kath Reid, Joanne Youngson, Red and White Army supporters, Michael Conroy, Ian High, Andrew Hurd and David Rose. Senior Supporters Association, Michael Bramley, John Heppel and David Smith. Now, there's a lot of, stuff that's on here that you can read yourself online. We're going to just cover three specific things I want to talk about. First of all, we're going to talk about the Black Cats Bath situation. The update on what actually happened with the Black Cats Bath. I thought this would be interesting. I haven't read it yet. We'll read this together. Internal investigation. Kirill Louis-Dreyfus provided an update on behalf of the club's board of directors. This should be interesting. Following the conclusion of an internal investigation required by the club's board of directors, we identified that a serious error in judgment was made in relation to the Black Cats Bar. Do you really need to have an inquiry to come to that conclusion? Jesus. Anybody in the right mind who actually thought that was a good thing to do shouldn't really be representing Sunderland Football Club, in my mind, simple as. Absolutely horrendous error in judgment. We now understand how this error in judgment was made, and I've identified where accountability sits, confirming that the action taken was inexcusable and, more importantly, preventable. Although employment laws prevent us from sharing any information, of course, all staff involved in the matter were interviewed and following the conclusion of a detailed internal inquiry, the appropriate levels of action have now been taken to conclude this progress. What action? What action was taken? I think, in my opinion, no action was taken. Don't do it again, or next time, you'll not get a free Sunderland scarf. Right, anyway. At the last meeting with the supporters groups, we made a commitment to putting fans at the heart of all we do. At the heart of all we do. The commitment is unwavering, and as supporters, you will soon start to see meaningful change. Will we start seeing meaningful change? We want to see meaningful change on the pitch with the way we recruit the players. That's what I want to see. We understand where we need to improve, and this includes an ongoing requirement to continually develop our people and refine our processes in the coming months. Use just common sense. Where's the common sense in it all? Who thought that, you know what I'm going to say, it's common sense. We are excited about bringing that commitment to life and embracing it through all levels of our club. Let's hope they do that. Let's hope they do something for the fans. But anyway, the people at the meeting had something to say about this. So Jill and Joanne found it no different from what was said at the previous meeting. The statement offers no reassurance that it won't happen again. And Jim then asked the groups, were we all happy to accept the KLD statement as a closure to the Black Cats Bar issue? Now we've got DR noted the limitations of the statement. The Black Cats Bar was a minor error of judgment. A fucking big error of judgment, not minor error of judgment, really? This and the lack of engagement surrounding the decision has led to deep mistrust of the club, which still exists within the fan base. It does. This can only be addressed through action, not words, action. The statement does not offer much confidence or comfort to the fans. The lack of engagement with the fans on this issue reflects the lack of resources within the club and affects the ability to get things done in a timely fashion. DR also said, which I think this is David Rose, the additional pressure, such as a big cup game, overstretches the club's resources. MC believes the statement could have been stronger. This could impact on season ticket renewals. IH sees it as part of a bigger picture regarding customer service. Yes, a lot of fans are very, very unhappy with the hierarchy for this ongoing incident. What happened? A lot of fans will not be renewing their season cards. I've spoke to a fan today who's been a season card holder at the club since the stadium opened. But if things are not addressed and put right on and off the pitch, probably will not be renewing his season card next season. Big changes need to happen this season. Not empty promises. Just spilt me fucking water. Not empty promises. We want change. Anyway. Next. The key issues are: why did it happen? What lessons have been learned? MB reiterated the disgraceful decision to use the Black Cats Bar during the Newcastle game. Many fans cannot understand why the Black Cats Bar was handed over to the away fans. It was, in my opinion, purely to make money. Selling the soul to the devil. Believing it was for financial reasons, and fans find that unplausible. The benefit of fan consultation in an early stage must be a lesson to be learned from this. It's got to be. And just, I said, it's common sense. DR acknowledged that KLD is minuted as saying the whole approach to Newcastle match wasn't for financial reasons. It wasn't for financial. He said it wasn't for financial reasons. Then why? What other reasons could there be? KLD, tell us. You're hiding away. You come out with this stupid little statement. It says nothing. What were the reasons? There's only one reason in my mind: financial gain. Nothing else. There's no other possible reason to do that. But logic suggests otherwise, and that many fans thought it was for financial reasons. Logic suggests otherwise. KLD says it wasn't for money, but logic suggests otherwise. It was very disappointing. There must be actions that illustrate improvement in many areas. Trust and confidence is to begin to be restored. The club appreciates that a series of actions of improvement will be needed over the time to regain the trust. Look at. We know KLD apologised for this, but I'd be more happy if you come out and just said, I did it to make money for the club. I did it just to rinse Newcastle fans of as much money as possible to help support the club. It's still not good. I still wouldn't want that. It should have been closed. Simple as. No, shouldn't have been opened. Simple as. No excuse. But let's just tell the truth. That's all we want. Right now, football. Overview. Christian Speakman provided an in-depth presentation to cover requested topics before taking questions on each topic. Context and information. Christian Speakman provided an overview of the club's football strategy, highlighting the focus on building the team and growing the club. Areas of improvement were also referenced, as was the significant progress made throughout the past 2.5 seasons. Well, I think we've gone backwards. 2.5 seasons. The five-year plan has got to be into the 3rd season now. So next season's the 4th season of the 5-year plan. Big changes, big improvements have got to happen. Intent and progression. The focus and intent on the progression, and naturally, when progression is not easily identifiable on the field, decisions will draw criticism. Yes, Christian Speakman. He also goes on to say, development of culture, infrastructure, people and processes at the academy alike continues at a fast pace. But Christian Speakman appreciated it is difficult for fans to feel connected to things they don't continually see. The team at the AOL feels some of the external debate around the lack of investment is unfair, considering the volume and frequent of improvements across the football operations, including the men's, women's and academy programmes. These improvements are vital to develop sustainable and successful teams in youth programmes. Yes, you've done some good stuff in the youth programmes we're talking about solely the first team, the male first team. Improvements. This is what we want. Improvements. 40,000 fans going through the gate to watch Sunderland Football Club, Association Football Club, to watch the men's Sunderland Association Football Club play football. We want improvements there. Simple as. You know, you've got to get it right there. Christian Speakman accepts that making bold and difficult and often complex decisions come with risk. And when a club is trying to move the dial, setbacks may happen. Providing lessons are learned and the club is honest in its assessments when things don't go to plan. Reflecting improvement. Right, so KLD Speakman says the club's got to be honest. I cannot wait to listen to what he has to say about the first team and head coach, because he's saying the club's got to be honest. Right, let's talk about the head coach situation. Christian Speakman continued by presenting the process to appoint a head coach, which has been previously shown to the supporters collective, but has been involved and refined from previous appointments. In response to the question from JY, it was confirmed that Michael Beale was part of the club's tracking process. Earlier in the season, supporters were looking forward to coming to the game, but G noticed a change in football style that has affected this. Christian Speakman referenced that this was also recognised within the club. The intention was to enhance the playing identity and improve results. In a desire to improve, Michael placed a focus on not conceding certain types of goals. This negatively affected the playing style too much. So he's blaming Michael Beale for that. Right. In response to the question on the head coach appointment process, the club highlighted the importance of the process, but referenced that it does not guarantee the right outcome. It does, however, endure an easier review of viable candidates and the risk and evolution process which the club undertakes after each head coach appointment. DR noted that until the arrival of Michael Beale, managerial appointments had been relatively successful under KLD's ownership, and while this appointment was underwhelming and unpopular, many fans were prepared to give Michael Beale the benefit of the doubt despite serious reservations. But the results and performances meant this was short-lived. Fans acknowledged that good work that had been done in previous seasons, but the appointment of Michael Beale left fans perplexed. DR believes amendments to the appointment process will be welcomed by the fans. IH reiterated the stark contrast in the approach between Tony Mowbray and Michael Beale. particularly regarding young players, and referenced differences in post-match interviews. KS responded that whilst the club and head coaches can be aligned on specific topics, each individual is different in their approach when communicating. Ultimately, it's the club's role to ensure communication is aligned as possible, but we also have to understand the different context and impact that results may have on interviews. So DR asked if the ownership would back an ambitious appointment of a coach that's in work with another club. JY stated that there is a perception that many things at the club are being done on the cheap. AH agreed, noted that the appointment of an unemployed manager gives the impression that there is a resourcing issue. Christian Speakman felt little correlation to the comprehensive fee and future success. There are simply too many variables. Opportunities must be variable and sensible, but that does not mean the club won't source a head coach currently in post at another club. I don't believe that for one single bit. I don't believe they will poach or even pay the money to get a head coach that's already in another job. I'm sorry, it's just saying what we want to hear. Christian Speakman sought informal fan feedback in early January to better understand supporters' opinions and reference that listening to different perspectives are part of improving. JG believes the next appointment is crucial. Christian Speakman agreed, but added that all appointments, irrespective of timing, are equally important. MB asked if the assistant coach could be appointed beside any potential new head coach, and KS confirmed a head coach would be able to bring in an assistant coach or coaches providing it was an appropriate recommendation. He added that the club are also keen to maintain consistency and continuity across football operations as like new ideas, input and people, but will aid success. So does that mean we're keeping the likes of Dodd? It looks as if we're not changing, we're not going to move from the current model. He says they can bring head coaches in, but it's got to be in line with what's going on already. So I cannot see it like the Dodds and Proctor, anybody going anywhere soon. MB asked if assistant coach, right? DR asked what assurances Christian Speakman could give fans on the immediate period that the timeline of head coach for recruitment. Christian explained that the club has confidence in the team and the team behind the team. 60 defeats in a row and 1 draw, Christian Speakman. There are players returning over the coming weeks, and although it's a difficult moment, we need to be together. He referenced the exceptional support at Southampton and believes fans will maintain a positive focus towards the team. On the head coach search, he added that the club consciously had a period of reflection after Michael Bale's departure and now are engaging in meetings with prospective head coaches. This will flow into formal interviews and a decision. So there we have it. That's what's happened at the club. That's what Christian Speakman said. So what's your thoughts on that? If you can actually understand what I was saying, what's your thoughts on that? I don't think Speakman's going anywhere in the summer, my personal opinion. He's here for the long term, and I can't see much changing. Right, so if you're still here, please subscribe to the channel. Give us a thumbs up if you're enjoying the content. If you're asleep, then I'll not wake you up. Right, so transfer windows. We're going to talk about players and transfer windows now. See what Speakman has to say about players and transfer windows. Transfer windows. Christian Speakman explained the player recruitment process and working practices, detailing the long vision, underpinning strategy, club values, decision making, structure and key stakeholders. The strategy is set by the club's ownership group and board of directors, who then appoint a sporting director to lead on this area of the club. So you have the owner, board of directors, they employ a sporting director, which is Speakman, to give him to then get on with it, do whatever he wants. I take it. Head coach is then appointed on a very transparent set of principles, and as a member of the leadership team is involved in every of the stage of a player recruitment process. So he's saying head coach is involved in every stage of a player recruitment process. So he's basically saying, doesn't mean he can say who he wants, who comes and goes. He's saying he's involved. So basically, Speakman will pick out somebody, I'll have him, and there you go, Joe Bloggs, this is who we're getting. You're involved in the whole of the process, whether you like it or not. I think that's the way it goes, in my personal opinion. So that's that bit. Right, the recruitment process was then explained and focus was placed on where the head coach integrates into the process. A pre-meeting question relating the club's assessment of the previous 2 transfer windows was covered, with Christian Speakman responding that context is key of every individual. Not every player is signed to start regularly in the team within the first 6 months, and some adapt and perform at different rates. There are no guarantees with players transitioning and adapting. So you're taking a risk by buying a player, and say, for instance, Hemia was bought with the hope that he was going to be ready in maybe 6 months' time, get to learn to speak English and get him in the team. Hasn't worked. Not good enough. Poor recruitment on that stage. Right. That's just an example. At the end of the day, I'm not saying to me he's a bad player. You know, it's just an example. He's a good young lad, good head on his shoulders, probably good standard. You know, he can probably play decent in some sort of Portuguese league, Spanish league, maybe some level League 1 or 2, I don't know. Maybe he's in this League 1, or maybe he's on loan next season in League 1. See what he can do. But for the Championship, not up to scratch. You know that, I know that. We all know Hemia hasn't scored a goal this season. Before we get into strikers, our strikers have scored 2 goals all season. 1 from Rushin, I think 1 from Rushin, possibly 2. 1 from Rushin and 1 from Burstow. I may be wrong. 1 or 2 out, but there we go. It's not good enough. Not good enough. Right, so back into it again. Right, so the club provides support for players, including language classes, to help improve their communication skills and integrate them into the group. And in the case of some players, we must also consider the non-football transition. DR said, most fans would agree that the team lacks experience in key areas and tweaking a policy could help the young squad. Adding that early in KLD's ownership, more experienced players were signed. AH referenced Alex Pritchard, Danny Bath and Corey Evans. Christian Speakman returned with this. Let's see what it says. This is going to be interesting. Christian Speakman cited Corey Evans and the re-signing of Luke O'Nien and Patrick Roberts to the longer-term contracts, aiding that senior players in Bradley Dack and Nazari Rushin also signed in the summer. Anthony Patterson, Dan Ballard, Dan Neal, Jack Clark, Adil were also amongst the players to have over 100 senior appearances each, with 8 others beyond or nearing that milestone. Christian Speakman believes supporters want good players regardless of the age, and the club wants good players, adding that we're always trying to find the right balance. Really? Experience in promotion challenges, experience in relegation battles, experience in the Championship. Experience they've got 1 season in the Championship when you had the likes of Danny Bart, Pritchard, Gooch. Then you had the likes of Ahmad. All them players were in that team last season. None of those players are in that team this season. All that experience is gone. Dak is fucking injury prone. Started 1 or 2 games, so he doesn't count. Corey Evans never played a fucking game this season, Christian Speakman, so that doesn't count. So that's absolute bullshit on that. Get rid of Dak. And, Speakman, you haven't got a clue what you're talking about, honest to God. You know, Luke O'Nien, First season in the Championship, never been in the Championship before. Doesn't mean he can make it at the Championship at this level. Jack Clarke, yes, he's only improved for being in the Championship. Dan Neil, Jack Clarke, Dan Ballard, 3 good players. Patterson, yes, those players I agree with. Rushin, no. No experience. I'm sorry, that's bollocks as well. Cannot speak English, never played in the league. You just talk shite. We want players who have played at this level in the Championship, mid-table to the top 6, or lower in the Premier League, with the experience to bring the kids up. The likes of Patterson, Dan Neil, still need to learn and need the experience of players with older heads. You've getting rid of all that. I'm sorry. I know what you're trying to say. You're trying to say you're not going to buy any experienced players because you're going to use them as the experienced players next season. But there's no guarantee the majority of these players are going to be in promotion level candidates, is there? As a collectiveness, I don't know if I'm talking sense. Let me know in the comments down below. Right. DR asked about the lack of a proven striker at the club and stated the current output from strikers has been poor. It has. I mean, 2 or 3 goals the whole of the season, if that. Ask him what the club will do to address this. Christian Speakman, let's listen to this bullshit, stated that last summer the club identified players to play in the team who to date have found it difficult to impact a central role with regularity of goals. Right. You've just literally contradicted yourself. You said some players come in to play after 6 months to a year, whatever it is, who can't even speak English to learn the language barrier and settle in. That there is Rushin. That there is Hamia. That there is Mason, is Miyende. That leaves only Burstow, who has no experience in this league. So no, you didn't bring in a striker in that was ready to play in the Championship. You didn't. So that there is bollocks. That's an oversight, a mistake on your half. You didn't bring one striker in that was ready to start at the beginning of the season to play football in the first team to score goals for Sunderland. So just stop fogging the fans off with absolute shite. Right. He added that the lack of output has not been through the lack of effort or work on the training field. Yeah, look at it. When I was young, I could do 100 mile a week. I could train hard on the track. I could work my absolute socks off. Didn't mean I was going to be able to run for England. Didn't mean I could go into that race and be in the top 10. Different levels, different standards. Yes, the commitment's probably there. Like I said before, they were good. They're a good level of standard of footballers. Burstow's a good young lad at his level. Rushin's a good player at his level. Can I speak English? Hamia, exactly the same. Benfica B team, good standard of football. A lot of kids around the world would love to play that standard of football, but not ready for the Championship. Not even ready. They can work hard. They can put the hard miles in. They can work all day long and do brilliant things on the training pitch. They've got to replicate on the pitch, and some players just cannot do it. Some of these players will never be at this level at Sunderland. And it's not a failing of the players. They've done bloody brilliant in their life at this moment in time to get where they are. They just might not be to the level of the Championship. And it might take another season to get them there. But you brought them in, like you've just said, to play football and score goals in the Championship now. It failed. And you can work your socks off. I've been for a 4-mile run today. I was sweating. I had a hard shift in. Doesn't mean I can go and do a 10k race. The club continually review all aspects of the performance, including forward play and they are seeking ways to improve. This includes the central position and other areas on the pitch, where goal contributions have also been as high as anticipated. The club also feel that they need to prepare for the future, as they don't believe challenging market conditions will change. As a result, they have invested in some younger profile players like Louis-Dreyfus and Eliza Mienda, and retained the existing talents at the academy. KS Christian Speakman added that in January the club makes significant efforts to sign 2 forwards where associated fees were considerable. Unfortunately, it never worked out, and we didn't know about it because I don't believe it for 1 minute. And this comes down to the lack of trust. It does. This goes back to the Black Cats bar and other areas. Lack of trust between fans and the club. Yes, there's some fans out there who will believe every word that you say, Speakman, and the owner says, and it's your opinion and it's up to you. In my opinion, I do not believe for 1 minute we were close to signing someone like Kiefer Moore. I think that's who they're on about. Possibly, I don't know. Anyway. They were not available to complete these deals for reasons outside the club's control. Bollocks. One of these players were over 30 years of age, which probably was Kiefer Moore. And it was to do with, in my opinion, the wage bill. Right, so there we go. We're not going to hear anything interesting from this meeting. Now we're just going to hear Christian Speakman's spiel, and you know, it is what it is. Again, I've got to turn my phone on when I start talking, otherwise I'm just talking to myself. Like I said, I do understand, you know, if you find me a hard watch sometimes, I'm a bit dyslexic and I find reading difficult, but I find this incredibly frustrating at this moment in time. He's saying he's brought in players that... So basically, Rushin should have been ready. Rushin should have been ready to start playing games of football in Burstow, because he's mentioned Mienda and Mia were for the future. So Burstow should have been ready, nowhere near. Not even looking like a striker. He's not a striker for me, and not no striker. Rushin, again, even when he got there, he was never given time. He came late. I can't remember how late he actually even came. Was it? I don't even know when Rushin came in now, but I know it wasn't as early as some of the players. So for me, it looks as if the model is not going to change. The model, that there for me is just papering over the cracks, just telling us things we want to kind of hear, but there's nothing concrete. It doesn't say anything interesting whatsoever. It's absolute shite, in my opinion. I'm sorry, you know, and those people who go to the meetings, you know, they did ask the right questions, they asked some good questions, and they said some interesting things, but you just come back with absolute bullshit from Speakman. That's just my opinion. Like I said, for me, something needs to change. It's obviously Speakman's obviously being the puppet. He's being told by KLD what to do, and the board of directors. They're not going to spend any money anytime soon, any big money anytime soon. For me, it's going to come down to it when we sell someone like Jack Clark. When someone like Jack Clark goes and we get, say, for instance, 20-25 million from him, obviously somebody goes to Spurs. When we bring that money in, where that money goes, that's going to be interesting. That's not in... For me, players. I mean, yes, it's okay saying Dan Neil's got experience. He has, young lad, got experience. You know, Patterson's got experience. They do have experience. But I don't see any of those players with experience at the top end of the championship really pushing for promotion, because last season, because we had other players in there like Gooch, like Danny Bart, the likes of, like I said before, Ahmad, and you got other players in there too who have since left. Pritchard. So now, for me, we need to get 1 or 2 players in like that model. Get rid of Dak. Dak is going to be injury prone. I'm sorry. I wish him all the best. I hope he's not injury prone, but the proof's in the pudding. He's been injured the majority of the season. It's been an absolute waste, Dak coming in. You can have experience if you want on the touchlines in the training pitch. We need them on the park, playing football with these young lads, helping them out. Dan Neil still needs help. He still needs goddamn help on the pitch. You know, Ballard still needs that help. Patterson needs help. Some older heads to drag these lads through the rut we've just gone through, 60 feet on the belt. You know, when some of these injured players are there, and you got like some Bar there, and you got like, Chris Rick coming through. You need them older heads on the pitch. We're not going to buy them. It's clear we're not going to do it. Nothing's going to change. They are banking on the likes of Job, the likes of, all these young players, Bar, developing to be ready for next season. And we'll find out. Because if we don't replace the likes of Jack Clark with some experience on the pitch, and I'm talking 25 to 28-year-olds, that type of experience, 3 or 4 years, not just 1 year. 3 or 4 years of experience, hardcore, going through tough times, good times, promotions, relegations, Premier League, Championship, that kind of experience. That may mean we need to spend some extra money. That's invaluable to these young players, to help these young players. That will give these young players, the upcoming crop, the help. Now, you may think I'm talking shite, and if I am, fair enough, but this is just my opinion. And I think next season is a massive season. It's a massive unveiling of the ownership of this club, because if we don't improve from this season to next season, and we're in the same position that we are now next season, then we know all this is just shite. So like I was saying, if, nothing changes over the summer and we end up with no experienced players in this relegation dogfight next season, then we'll know that they failed. You'll know, Speakman will know, KLD will know that it doesn't work, the model. So that's what it is. But if these players do develop well, and next season we don't buy any experienced players, but they're in the top 6, then I'll come on and say, well, you were right, I was wrong. But I do think, in the majority of Sunderland fans think, we need the experience on the pitch. We need to go out and purchase I think it's a matter of when and not if we sell Jack Clark, and touch wood we don't. But I think it's a matter of when and not if we do get all that cash. That's got to be invested all of it's got to be invested seriously in some experience to help these youngsters. So there we go. Let me know your thoughts down below. I've just waffled on absolute load of shite for a while there. So take care. God bless me. God go with you. Please give us a thumbs up. Take care. Thanks for watching. And leave us your score predictions down below for a chance to win a shirt. Thanks you. See you later. Live stream Friday, Cardiff versus Sunderland.